Hey, welcome back. Alex here. Today we're covering the full set of civics questions for the U.S. citizenship test. Before we start, make sure you're studying the right version. We'll study the newer 128 question civics test for people who filed Form N-400 on or after October 20th, 2025. At your interview, you'll answer the civics questions out loud. The officer can ask up to 20 questions, and you need 12 correct to pass. Today we'll go slow. I'll go through the questions in random order, pause, then give you all correct answers. I'll pause so you have time to answer too. Let me know in the comments below if you like this format, and visit civicsquestions.com for more free practice. Are you ready? Let's begin. George Washington is famous for many things. Name one. Father of our country. First President of the United States, General of the Continental Army, President of the Constitutional Convention. Where is the Statue of Liberty? New York Harbor. Liberty Island. Name one power that is only for the federal government. Print paper money, mint coins, declare war, create an army, make treaties, set foreign policy. Why were the Federalist Papers important? They helped people understand the U.S. Constitution. They supported passing the U.S. Constitution. What founding document was written in 1787? U.S. Constitution. What did the Civil Rights Movement do? Fought to end racial discrimination. What founding document said the American colonies were free from Britain? Declaration of Independence. What is the name of the Vice President of the United States now? J.D. Vance. Name one power of the U.S. Congress. Writes laws, declares war, makes the federal budget. There are three branches of government. Why? So one part does not become too powerful. Checks and balances. Separation of powers. What U.S. war ended slavery? The Civil War. Who is one of your state's U.S. senators now? This answer varies by state. Visit civicsquestions.com/state to find the correct answer for your location. Who elects members of the House of Representatives? Citizens from their congressional district. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1800s. War of 1812, Mexican-American War, Civil War, Spanish-American War. During the Cold War, what was one main concern of the United States? Communism, nuclear war. Many documents influence the U.S. Constitution. Name one. Declaration of Independence. Articles of Confederation. Federalist Papers. Anti-Federalist Papers. Virginia Declaration of Rights. Fundamental Orders of Connecticut. Mayflower Compact. Iroquois Great Law of Peace. What is the highest court in the United States? Supreme Court. What is the capital of the United States? Washington, D.C. The executive branch has many parts. Name one. President of the United States. Cabinet. Federal departments and agencies. What is Memorial Day? A holiday to honor soldiers who died in military service. Name one leader of the women's rights movement in the 1800s. Susan B. Anthony, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, Lucretia Mott, Lucy Stone. Abraham Lincoln is famous for many things. Name one. Freed the slaves. Emancipation Proclamation. Saved, or preserved, the Union. Led the United States during the Civil War. 16th President of the United States. Delivered the Gettysburg Address. Why do U.S. representatives serve shorter terms than U.S. senators? To more closely follow public opinion. James Madison is famous for many things. Name one. Father of the Constitution. Fourth President of the United States. President during the War of 1812. One of the writers of the Federalist Papers. The President of the United States can serve only 2 terms. Why? Because of the 22nd Amendment, to keep the President from becoming too powerful. Name your U.S. representative. This answer varies by state. Visit civicsquestions.com/state to find the correct answer for your location. How long is a term for a member of the House of Representatives? 2 years. Name one example of an American innovation. Light bulb. Automobile. Cars, internal combustion engine. Skyscrapers. Airplane. Assembly line. Landing on the moon. Integrated circuit. IC. What is the purpose of the 10th Amendment? It states that the powers not given to the federal government belong to the states or to the people. How long do Supreme Court justices serve? For life. Lifetime appointment. Until retirement. Why does each state have 2 senators? Equal representation for small states. The Great Compromise. Connecticut Compromise. What are 3 rights of everyone living in the United States? Freedom of expression, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom to petition the government, freedom of religion, the right to bear arms. What major event happened on September 11, 2001 in the United States? Terrorists attacked the United States. Terrorists took over 2 planes and crashed them into the World Trade Center in New York City. Terrorists took over a plane and crashed into the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia. Terrorists took over a plane originally aimed at Washington, D.C., and crashed in a field in Pennsylvania. The President of the United States is elected for how many years? 4 years. The American Revolution had many important events. Name one. Battle of Bunker Hill. Declaration of Independence. Washington crossing the Delaware. Battle of Trenton. Battle of Saratoga. Valley Forge encampment. Battle of Yorktown. British surrender at Yorktown. The colonists came to America for many reasons. Name one. Freedom. Political liberty. Religious freedom. Economic opportunity. Escape persecution. Name one U.S. military conflict after the September 11, 2001 attacks. Global War on Terror. War in Afghanistan. War in Iraq. Who is Commander-in-Chief of the U.S. military? The President of the United States. Supreme Court justices serve for life. Why? To be independent of politics. To limit outside political influence. What does the judicial branch do? Reviews laws. Explains laws. Resolves disputes, disagreements about the law. Decides if a law goes against the U.S. Constitution. Name the U.S. war between the North and the South. The Civil War. What did the Emancipation Proclamation do? Freed the slaves. Freed slaves in the Confederacy. Freed slaves in the Confederate States. Freed slaves in most southern states. Benjamin Franklin is famous for many things. Name one. Founded the first free public libraries. First Postmaster General of the United States. Helped write the Declaration of Independence. Inventor. U.S. diplomat. Name one power that is only for the states. Provide schooling and education. Provide protection, police. Provide safety, fire departments. Give a driver's license. Approve zoning and land use. What war did the Americans fight to win independence from Britain? American Revolution. The American Revolutionary War. War for American Independence. It is important for all men age 18 through 25 to register for the Selective Service. Name one reason why. Required by law. Civic duty. Makes the draft fair if needed. Who elects U.S. senators? Citizens from their state. Who vetoes bills? The President of the United States. Name two promises that new citizens make in the Oath of Allegiance. Give up loyalty to other countries. Defend the U.S. Constitution. Obey the laws of the United States. Serve in the military if needed. Serve, help, do important work for the nation if needed. Be loyal to the United States. Name one American Indian tribe in the United States. Apache, Blackfeet, Cayuga, Cherokee, Cheyenne, Chippewa, Choctaw, Creek, Crow, Hopi, Huron, Inupiat, Lakota, Mohawk, Mohegan, Navajo, Oneida, Onondaga, Pueblo, Seminole, Seneca, Shawnee, Sioux, Teton, Tuscarora. What was the Great Depression? Longest economic recession in modern history. How long is a term for U.S. Senator? 6 years. Name one thing the U.S. Constitution does. Forms the government. Defines powers of government. Defines the parts of government. Protects the rights of the people. The U.S. Constitution starts with the words, "We the people." What does "we the people" mean? Self-government, popular sovereignty, consent of the governed. People should govern themselves. Example of social contract. There are 4 amendments to the U.S. Constitution about who can vote. Describe one of them. Citizens 18 and older can vote. You don't have to pay a poll tax to vote. Any citizen can vote. Women and men can vote. A male citizen of any race can vote. How are changes made to the U.S. Constitution? Amendments. The amendment process. If the president can no longer serve, who becomes president? The Vice President of the United States. The Civil War had many important events. Name one. Battle of Fort Sumter, Emancipation Proclamation, Battle of Vicksburg, Battle of Gettysburg, Sherman's March, Surrender at Appomattox, Battle of Antietam/Sharpsburg. Lincoln was assassinated. Why is the Electoral College important? It decides who is elected president. It provides a compromise between the popular election of the president and congressional selection. Why did the United States enter the Persian Gulf War? To force the Iraqi military from Kuwait. What is the rule of law? Everyone must follow the law. Leaders must obey the law. Government must obey the law. No one is above the law. What is Veterans Day? A holiday to honor people in the U.S. military. A holiday to honor people who have served in the U.S. military. What territory did the United States buy from France in 1803? Louisiana Territory. Louisiana. What part of the federal government writes laws? U.S. Congress. U.S. or national legislature. Legislative branch. What is the supreme law of the land? U.S. Constitution. Why is it important to pay federal taxes? Required by law. All people pay to fund the federal government. Required by the U.S. Constitution. 16th Amendment. Civic duty. Thomas Jefferson is famous for many things. Name one. Writer of the Declaration of Independence. Third President of the United States. Doubled the size of the United States. Louisiana Purchase. First Secretary of State. Founded the University of Virginia. Writer of the Virginia Statute on Religious Freedom. Who is the governor of your state now? This answer varies by state. Visit civicsquestions.com/state to find the correct answer for your location. Name 3 national U.S. holidays. New Year's Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, President's Day, Washington's birthday, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, Columbus Day, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day. What is one part of the judicial branch? Supreme Court, federal courts. How many amendments does the U.S. Constitution have? 27. Who is the Chief Justice of the United States now? John Roberts. Name one power of the President. Signs bills into law, vetoes bills, enforces laws. Commander-in-Chief of the military, chief diplomat, appoints federal judges. What is one way Americans can serve their country? Vote, pay taxes, obey the law, serve in the military, run for office, work for local, state, or federal government. What are the 2 parts of the U.S. Congress? Senate and House of Representatives. Why does the flag have 50 stars? Because there is 1 star for each state. Because each star represents a state. Because there are 50 states. When did all women get the right to vote? 1920, after World War I, with the 19th Amendment. What is the form of government of the United States? Republic. Constitution-based federal republic. Representative democracy. Why did the United States enter World War II? Bombing of Pearl Harbor. Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. To support the Allied powers, England, France, and Russia. To oppose the Axis powers, Germany, Italy, and Japan. Name 2 important ideas from the Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution. Equality, liberty, social contract, natural rights, limited government, self-government. What are 2 cabinet-level positions? Attorney General, Secretary of Agriculture, Secretary of Commerce, Secretary of Education, Secretary of Energy, Secretary of Health and Human Services, Secretary of Homeland Security, Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Secretary of the Interior, Secretary of Labor, Secretary of State, Secretary of Transportation, Secretary of the Treasury, Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Secretary of War, Vice President, Administrator of the Environmental Protection Agency. Administrator of the Small Business Administration. Director of the Central Intelligence Agency. Director of the Office of Management and Budget. Director of National Intelligence. United States Trade Representative. The nation's first motto was E pluribus unum. What does that mean? Out of many, one. We all become one. How many senators does each state have? 2. What is the name of the Speaker of the House of Representatives now? Mike Johnson. How many Supreme Court justices are usually needed to decide a case? 5. There were 13 original states. Name 5. New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. The President of the United States is in charge of which branch of government? Executive branch. What does the President's cabinet do? Advises the President of the United States. Name the 3 branches of government. Legislative, executive, and judicial. Congress, President, and the courts. How many voting members are in the House of Representatives? 435. When did all men get the right to vote? After the Civil War. During Reconstruction. With the 15th Amendment. 1870. How can people become United States citizens? Be born in the United States under the conditions set by the 14th Amendment. Naturalize. Derive citizenship under conditions set by Congress. Who was the United States' main rival during the Cold War? Soviet Union, USSR, Russia. Who signs bills to become laws? The President of the United States. Why is the Declaration of Independence important? It says America is free from British control. It says all people are created equal. It identifies inherent rights. It identifies individual freedoms. What amendment says all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are U.S. citizens? 14th Amendment. Who appoints federal judges? The President of the United States. Who was president during the Great Depression and World War II? Franklin Roosevelt. What are 2 examples of civic participation in the United States? Vote, run for office, join a political party, help with a campaign, join a civic group, join a community group, give an elected official your opinion on an issue, contact elected officials, support or oppose an issue or policy, write to a newspaper. Alexander Hamilton is famous for many things. Name one. First Secretary of the Treasury. One of the writers of the Federalist Papers. Helped establish the first bank of the United States. Aide to General George Washington. Member of the Continental Congress. What does the Bill of Rights protect? The basic rights of Americans. The basic rights of people living in the United States. Martin Luther King Jr. is famous for many things. Name one. Fought for civil rights. Worked for equality for all Americans. Worked to ensure that people would not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the color of their character. When was the Declaration of Independence adopted? July 4, 1776. Who lived in America before the Europeans arrived? American Indians, Native Americans. Some states have more representatives than other states. Why? Because of the state's population. Because they have more people. Because some states have more people. Who does a U.S. Senator represent? Citizens of their state. People of their state. What is the economic system of the United States? Capitalism. Free market economy. How many seats are on the Supreme Court? 9. What is Independence Day? A holiday to celebrate U.S. independence from Britain. The country's birthday. The Federalist Papers supported the passage of the U.S. Constitution. Name one of the writers. James Madison. Alexander Hamilton. John Jay. Publius. What is the capital of your state? This answer varies by state. Visit civicsquestions.com/state to find the correct answer for your location. How many U.S. senators are there? 100. Who can vote in federal elections, run for federal office, and serve on a jury in the United States? Citizens. Citizens of the United States. U.S. citizens. What is the name of the President of the United States now? Donald Trump. What group of people was taken and sold as slaves? Africans. People from Africa. Why did the United States enter World War I? Because Germany attacked U.S. civilian ships. To support the Allied powers, England, France, Italy, and Russia. To oppose the Central Powers, Germany, Austria-Hungary, the Ottoman Empire, and Bulgaria. What do we show loyalty to when we say the Pledge of Allegiance? The United States. The flag. Why does the flag have 13 stripes? Because there were 13 original colonies. Because the stripes represent the original colonies. When did the Great Depression start? The Great Crash, 1929. Stock market crash of 1929. Why did the United States enter the Korean War? To stop the spread of communism. Dwight Eisenhower is famous for many things. Name one. General during World War II. President at the end of, during the Korean War. 34th President of the United States. Signed the Federal Aid Highway Act of 1956. Created the interstate system. The words life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are in what founding document? Declaration of Independence. What is the name of the national anthem? The Star-Spangled Banner. Who does a member of the House of Representatives represent? Citizens in their congressional district. Citizens in their district. People from their congressional district. People in their district. Why did the United States enter the Vietnam War? To stop the spread of communism. Name one reason why the Americans declared independence from Britain. High taxes. Taxation without representation. British soldiers stayed in Americans' houses, boarding, quartering. They did not have self-government. Boston Massacre. Boston Tea Party. Tea Act. Stamp Act. Sugar Act. Townsend Acts. Intolerable. Coercive Acts. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1900s. World War I, World War II, Korean War, Vietnam War, Persian Gulf War. Who wrote the Declaration of Independence? Thomas Jefferson. That's it for this video. Nice work! Like and subscribe if you want more videos like this, and visit civicsquestions.com for more civics practice. See you next time!